Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pause for a moment and realize this. You are not here to play, you are here to pass a test. Life is not a playground, it is a testing ground. Every breath you take is a question being asked of you. The answers you give will determine not just how you live, but how you will be remembered. Life is a test, not a game, and it must be passed with purpose. Many people treat life like a game, casual, careless, playing for the moment, chasing fleeting pleasures. But a test is different. A test requires preparation, focus, intention, and awareness of the consequences. You see, a game entertains you, but a test evaluates you. If you are breathing today, you are on the examination table of life. There is no greater tragedy in life than living without knowing why you are alive. You see, purpose is not something you decide, it is something you discover. Purpose was pre-installed in you by the Creator before you were born. You are not here by chance, you were sent here on assignment. Just like a manufacturer designs every product with a specific purpose in mind, you were designed with an assignment attached to your existence. The real test of life is not about how much you acquire or how busy you become. It is about whether you will fulfill the assignment for which you were born. Many people confuse activity with purpose. They spend their lives being busy working, running after promotions, chasing after applause, and climbing corporate ladders only to discover at the top that they leaned their ladder against the wrong wall. Success without purpose is failure in disguise. You are not successful because of how much you earn, how many people know your name, or how big your house is. You are successful when you find your assignment and dedicate your life to it. The test of life begins the moment you wake up in the morning. Every sunrise brings a silent question. Do you know why you are still here? If you do not understand your assignment, you will become a victim of other people's agendas. The world is filled with people who are being used to build dreams that have nothing to do with their own destiny. That's what happens when you don't know your purpose. You drift. You float through life, allowing circumstances to dictate your direction. But when you know your assignment, you command your day, you wake up with focus, you walk with clarity, you talk with intention. Purpose gives you a filter. It tells you what to say yes to and what to reject. Without purpose, everything looks attractive. Opportunities can become distractions if they are not aligned with your assignment. This is why the most dangerous thing in life is not failure. It is success in the wrong assignment. Many people are being applauded for things they were never supposed to do. They are excelling at things they were never designed for. Don't let success in the wrong assignment fool you into thinking you are on the right path. Understanding your assignment is the first and greatest time management principle. You cannot manage time if you don't know why you have it. Purpose gives value to your time. It prioritizes your tasks, your relationships, your investments. If you understand your assignment, you stop wasting time on things that have no eternal value. Every minute becomes a seed planted toward your destiny. You begin to ask yourself powerful questions. Is this conversation contributing to my purpose? Is this activity aligned with my destiny? Is this relationship helping me fulfill my assignment? Life is a test, and purpose is the answer key. The Creator will not judge you by how much you achieved. You will be judged by how much of your assignment you completed. This is why comparison is foolishness. You are not in competition with anyone else because no one else has your assignment. The only person you should compete with is the version of yourself that failed to maximize yesterday. Purpose is not a feeling, it is a conviction. Feelings change, but purpose remains constant. Whether you are in a valley or on a mountaintop, your assignment remains unchanged. Challenges, obstacles, and trials do not cancel your purpose. They are part of the test. They are the refining fire that shapes you for the assignment you were born to accomplish. When you understand your assignment, you also understand that life is not about duration but donation. It is not about how long you live, but how well you deposit yourself into the world. Some people live 90 years and leave nothing behind. Others live 35 years and shift nations. It's not about the length of your life, it's about the weight of your impact. That impact only comes when you live with assignment consciousness. Understanding your assignment requires you to go back to the manufacturer, the one who made you. Purpose is not found in the opinions of people, nor in the applause of crowds. You don't find your assignment on social media likes or followers. You discover it in stillness, in reflection, in prayer, in asking deeper questions that go beyond the surface of survival. Why was I born? What problem was I designed to solve? What burden do I carry that refuses to let me settle for an ordinary life? When you understand your assignment, you realize you are not a biological accident. You are a deliberate solution to a specific problem in your generation. You were not born just to exist, pay bills, and die. You were sent here as an answer, and life's greatest test is whether you will recognize that answer within you, cultivate it, and deliver it to the world before your time is up. So, the first principle in maximizing your time is simple yet profound. Understand the assignment of life. Until you know why you're here, everything you do is guesswork. Life is too short for experiments. Purpose is the key that unlocks your schedule, your relationships, your energy, your focus. Don't just pass through life, press through it with purpose. That is how you pass the test. There is no greater tragedy in life than living without knowing why you are alive. You see, purpose is not something you decide, it is something you discover. Purpose was pre-installed in you by the Creator before you were born. You are not here by chance. You were sent here on assignment. Just like a manufacturer designs every product with a specific purpose in mind, you were designed with an assignment attached to your existence. The real test of life is not about how much you acquire or how busy you become. It is about whether you will fulfill the assignment for which you were born. Many people confuse activity with purpose. They spend their lives being busy working, running after promotions, chasing after applause, and climbing corporate ladders only to discover at the top that they leaned their ladder against the wrong wall. Success without purpose is failure in disguise. You are not successful because of how much you earn, how many people know your name, or how big your house is. You are successful when you find your assignment and dedicate your life to it. The test of life begins the moment you wake up in the morning. Every sunrise brings a silent question. Do you know why you are still here? If you do not understand your assignment, you will become a victim of other people's agendas. The world is filled with people who are being used to build dreams that have nothing to do with their own destiny. That's what happens when you don't know your purpose. You drift. You float through life, allowing circumstances to dictate your direction. But when you know your assignment, you command your day, you wake up with focus, you walk with clarity, you talk with intention. Purpose gives you a filter. It tells you what to say yes to and what to reject. Without purpose, everything looks attractive. Opportunities can become distractions if they are not aligned with your assignment. This is why the most dangerous thing in life is not failure. It is success in the wrong assignment. Many people are being applauded for things they were never supposed to do. They are excelling at things they were never designed for. Don't let success in the wrong assignment fool you into thinking you are on the right path. Understanding your assignment is the first and greatest time management principle. You cannot manage time if you don't know why you have it. Purpose gives value to your time. It prioritizes your tasks, your relationships, your investments. If you understand your assignment, you stop wasting time on things that have no eternal value. Every minute becomes a seed planted toward your destiny. You begin to ask yourself powerful questions. Is this conversation contributing to my purpose? Is this activity aligned with my destiny? Is this relationship helping me fulfill my assignment? Life is a test, and purpose is the answer key. The Creator will not judge you by how much you achieved. You will be judged by how much of your assignment you completed. This is why comparison is foolishness. You are not in competition with anyone else because no one else has your assignment. The only person you should compete with is the version of yourself that failed to maximize yesterday. Purpose is not a feeling, it is a conviction. Feelings change, but purpose remains constant. Whether you are in a valley or on a mountaintop, your assignment remains unchanged. Challenges, obstacles, and trials do not cancel your purpose. They are part of the test. They are the refining fire that shapes you for the assignment you were born to accomplish. When you understand your assignment, you also understand that life is not about duration but donation. It is not about how long you live, but how well you deposit yourself into the world. Some people live 90 years and leave nothing behind. Others live 35 years and shift nations. It's not about the length of your life, it's about the weight of your impact. That impact only comes when you live with assignment consciousness. Understanding your assignment requires you to go back to the manufacturer, the one who made you. Purpose is not found in the opinions of people, nor in the applause of crowds. You don't find your assignment on social media likes or followers. You discover it in stillness, in reflection, in prayer, in asking deeper questions that go beyond the surface of survival. Why was I born? What problem was I designed to solve? What burden do I carry that refuses to let me settle for an ordinary life? When you understand your assignment, you realize you are not a biological accident. You are a deliberate solution to a specific problem in your generation. You were not born just to exist, pay bills, and die. You were sent here as an answer, and life's greatest test is whether you will recognize that answer within you, cultivate it, and deliver it to the world before your time is up. So, the first principle in maximizing your time is simple yet profound. Understand the assignment of life. Until you know why you're here, everything you do is guesswork. Life is too short for experiments. Purpose is the key that unlocks your schedule, your relationships, your energy, your focus. Don't just pass through life, press through it with purpose. That is how you pass the test. There is no greater tragedy in life than living without knowing why you are alive. You see, purpose is not something you decide, it is something you discover. Purpose was installed in you by the Creator before you were born. You are not here by chance. You were sent here on assignment. Just like a manufacturer designs every product with a specific purpose in mind, you were designed with an assignment attached to your existence. The real test of life is not about how much you acquire or how busy you become. It is about whether you will fulfill the assignment for which you were born. Many people confuse activity with purpose. They spend their lives being busy working, running after promotions, chasing after applause, and climbing corporate ladders only to discover at the top that they leaned their ladder against the wrong wall. Success without purpose is failure in disguise. You are not successful because of how much you earn, how many people know your name, or how big your house is. You are successful when you find your assignment and dedicate your life to it. The test of life begins the moment you wake up in the morning. Every sunrise brings a silent question. Do you know why you are still here? If you do not understand your assignment, you will become a victim of other people's agendas. The world is filled with people who are being used to build dreams that have nothing to do with their own destiny. That's what happens when you don't know your purpose. You drift. You float through life, allowing circumstances to dictate your direction. But when you know your assignment, you command your day, you wake up with focus, you walk with clarity, you talk with intention. Purpose gives you a filter. It tells you what to say yes to and what to reject. Without purpose, everything looks attractive. Opportunities can become distractions if they are not aligned with your assignment. This is why the most dangerous thing in life is not failure. It is success in the wrong assignment. Many people are being applauded for things they were never supposed to do. They are excelling at things they were never designed for. Don't let success in the wrong assignment fool you into thinking you are on the right path. Understanding your assignment is the first and greatest time management principle. You cannot manage time if you don't know why you have it. Purpose gives value to your time. It prioritizes your tasks, your relationships, your investments. If you understand your assignment, you stop wasting time on things that have no eternal value. Every minute becomes a seed planted toward your destiny. You begin to ask yourself powerful questions. Is this conversation contributing to my purpose? Is this activity aligned with my destiny? Is this relationship helping me fulfill my assignment? Life is a test, and purpose is the answer key. The Creator will not judge you by how much you achieved. You will be judged by how much of your assignment you completed. This is why comparison is foolishness. You are not in competition with anyone else, because no one else has your assignment. The only person you should compete with is the version of yourself that failed to maximize yesterday. Purpose is not a feeling, it is a conviction. Feelings change, but purpose remains constant. Whether you are in a valley or on a mountaintop, your assignment remains unchanged. Challenges, obstacles, and trials do not cancel your purpose. They are part of the test. They are the refining fire that shapes you for the assignment you were born to accomplish. When you understand your assignment, you also understand that life is not about duration but donation. It is not about how long you live, but how well you deposit yourself into the world. Some people live 90 years and leave nothing behind. Others live 35 years and shift nations. It's not about the length of your life. It's about the weight of your impact. That impact only comes when you live with assignment consciousness. Understanding your assignment requires you to go back to the manufacturer, the one who made you. Purpose is not found in the opinions of people, nor in the applause of crowds. You don't find your assignment on social media likes or followers. You discover it in stillness, in reflection, in prayer, in asking deeper questions that go beyond the surface of survival. Why was I born? What problem was I designed to solve? What burden do I carry that refuses to let me settle for an ordinary life? When you understand your assignment, you realize you are not a biological accident. You are a deliberate solution to a specific problem in your generation. You were not born just to exist, pay bills, and die. You were sent here as an answer, and life's greatest test is whether you will recognize that answer within you, cultivate it, and deliver it to the world before your time is up. So the first principle in maximizing your time is simple yet profound. Understand the assignment of life. Until you know why you're here, everything you do is guesswork. Life is too short for experiments. Purpose is the key that unlocks your schedule, your relationships, your energy, your focus. Don't just pass through life, press through it with purpose. That is how you pass the test. Time is not a clock ticking on the wall. Time is life itself moving quietly past you, second by second. Every tick of the clock is a moment of your life that you will never see again. Most people misunderstand time because they think it's just about calendars and schedules. But let me tell you something profound. Time is not a tool. It is life in motion. You are not managing hours and minutes. You are managing your existence. When you waste time, you are not wasting a resource. You are wasting your life. Many people live with the illusion that they have time. That is one of the greatest deceptions of life. You think you have more of it, but in reality, you don't know how much you've been given. Time is the only gift you spend without knowing how much you have left. You can regain money, regain possessions, regain influence, but once a second is gone, it becomes eternity. Time lost is life lost. It is non-refundable and non-negotiable. Every morning you wake up, you are not just waking up to another day, you are waking up to a portion of your life being spent, whether you like it or not. This is why life's greatest test is how you spend your time. Time is the currency of purpose. If you misuse it, you bankrupt your destiny. You cannot afford to live casually because time is unforgiving. It keeps moving whether you are prepared or not, whether you are focused or distracted. Every day you are given is a slice of eternity temporarily entrusted to you. What you do with it determines the legacy you will leave. Most people don't value time because they confuse being busy with being effective. Activity is not productivity. Just because you are moving doesn't mean you are progressing. Time must be invested, not just spent. Every hour should be a deposit toward your assignment. You must develop the habit of interrogating your day. Ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my destiny? What did I produce that has eternal value? Time is a test because it is disguised as routine. The sunrise seems ordinary, but it is an opportunity clothed in simplicity. Many people fail the test of time because they wait for dramatic moments to act. They are looking for a perfect opportunity, a special day, or a major breakthrough. But life is not lived in highlights, it is built in daily disciplines. Every day you waste is a piece of your destiny you will never recover. You see, time is always teaching us, but we are not always paying attention. Every passing year whispers the same lesson: you are temporary. Your presence on earth has an expiration date. This is not meant to scare you, it is meant to awaken you. Mortality is a gift because it gives meaning to life. If you had unlimited time, you would not value any of it. Scarcity is what gives time its preciousness. The fact that you don't know how much time you have should not bring fear, but urgency. One of the greatest lies people believe is that one day they will pursue their purpose. They say, one day I will write that book. One day I will start that business. One day I will fix my relationships. One day I will align my life with my calling. But let me ask you, who promised you one day? The only time you own is now. Procrastination is the arrogance of thinking God owes you another opportunity. Every time you delay fulfilling your assignment, you are gambling with your own life. Time respects no man. It is the great equalizer. Rich or poor, educated or uneducated, famous or unknown, we all get 24 hours in a day. What you do with your portion determines the quality of your life. Time does not multiply for the busy nor slow down for the lazy. You cannot manage time, but you can manage yourself within time. The issue is not that you lack time. The issue is that you lack focus. Until you master focus, time will master you. There are two kinds of people in life: those who spend time and those who invest it. Spending time is an expense with no return. Investing time is sowing into something that will outlive you. Purpose-driven people are investors of time. They wake up with intention, they operate with strategy, and they understand that every moment is an opportunity to add value to their assignment. When you see time as life in disguise, you begin to treat it with reverence. You stop trivial conversations, you avoid meaningless entertainment, and you disengage from anything that dilutes your destiny. Understand this: time is not passing you by, you are passing through time. Every day you are moving closer to the finish line of life's test. The question is, will you be ready when the time runs out? Time is a silent examiner. It doesn't announce the final test. It simply ends. You are not given warnings. That is why you must live every day as if it is your last chance to fulfill your assignment. Living with time, consciousness is not about fear, it is about wisdom. The wise know that every conversation, every decision, every opportunity is a seed planted into eternity. You are writing your life story in the ink of time. The pages turn whether you are prepared or not. Make sure when the final chapter closes, it tells a story of purpose fulfilled and life maximized. You don't own time, you are entrusted with it. It's not your possession, it's your test. Time is life in disguise, and how you handle it will determine if you pass or fail the test of destiny. Every human being is born with an invisible finish line. Life, whether you realize it or not, is a journey with a definite end. The greatest deception in life is to live as though you will be here forever. Many people walk through life casually, drifting from moment to moment, because they have never stopped to contemplate the finality of their existence. But the wise live differently. The wise live with the end in mind. You see, your life is a story, but unlike fiction, you do not get to rewrite the ending. You only get one draft. That's why it is critical to begin with a vision of how you want to finish. What legacy do you want to leave? What will people remember when your name is mentioned? Will the world be better because you lived, or will your absence be unnoticed? These are not questions for the elderly. They are questions for the living. Because the truth is, you are always closer to your end than you think. Living with the end in mind does not mean living in fear of death. It means living in the awareness of purpose. It shifts your focus from temporary pleasure to lasting impact. When you understand that life is temporary, you stop wasting time on things that have no eternal value. You stop living for applause and start living for legacy. Fame fades. Popularity shifts. but purpose is immortal. It outlives you. Most people spend their lives trying to build a name, but very few build a legacy. There's a difference. A name is what people call you. Legacy is what they feel when they remember you. A name is a title. Legacy is an impact. When you live with the end in mind, you stop chasing titles and start fulfilling purpose. Living with the end in mind demands that you ask yourself difficult questions. What will be written on the final page of my life? What will I regret not doing? Who will suffer if I fail to fulfill my assignment? You see, life's test is not about what you can achieve temporarily, but what you can contribute permanently. Your career, your possessions, your status, these things are temporary shadows, but your purpose is your eternal footprint. This mindset of living with the end in mind forces you to measure your daily actions against your ultimate destination. Every decision becomes a seed you're planting toward your legacy. You don't spend your days reacting to life. You live proactively, intentionally, with a blueprint designed by your assignment. You stop allowing emotions to govern your responses. You understand that every word you speak, every choice you make, every opportunity you accept or decline is building toward an inevitable conclusion. Those who live with the end in mind do not get distracted easily. They are not seduced by trends or enticed by temporary pleasures. They evaluate every offer through the lens of their destiny. They know that saying yes to the wrong things is the fastest way to delay their purpose. When you are aware that your time is limited, your decisions become more precise, more aligned, more meaningful. The problem with many people is that they treat life like an endless game. They assume they will have time to get serious later. But let me remind you, there is no such thing as later in destiny. Every delayed decision is a delayed destiny. Every wasted moment is a stolen chapter from your life story. You don't control when the test of life ends. You only control how you prepare for it. When you live with the end in mind, your relationships change. You no longer tolerate toxic connections. You surround yourself with people who sharpen you, people who hold you accountable to your assignment. You stop entertaining conversations that add no value to your purpose. Time becomes too precious to spend with people who don't respect your destiny. Living with the end in mind sharpens your discernment. The greatest leaders, the most impactful individuals, all had one thing in common. They lived with the end in mind. They did not measure their success by their comfort, but by their contribution. They understood that life is not about duration, it's about donation. You may not control how long you live, but you fully control how well you live. The test of life will evaluate not the years you counted, but the moments you made count. Living with the end in mind produces a sense of urgency. It breaks the chains of procrastination. You stop waiting for ideal circumstances because you realize that ideal never comes. The perfect time to start fulfilling your purpose is now. Every delay becomes a debt you owe to your destiny. When you know how you want to finish, you are careful how you begin. You craft your habits intentionally. You manage your thoughts carefully. You protect your vision fiercely. You refuse to let distractions sabotage your assignment. Living with the end in mind transforms you from a wanderer into a warrior. You become a person on a mission, fully aware that life is not a rehearsal. This is your one chance to fulfill your assignment. One of the most sobering truths is that cemeteries are filled with unfulfilled potential, dreams that were never pursued, books that were never written, businesses that were never started, solutions that the world never received because someone assumed they had more time. You must refuse to become a statistic in the graveyard of wasted purpose. When you live with the end in mind, every morning becomes an opportunity to align with your assignment. You stop living for survival and start living for significance. You recognize that you are not here to merely exist. You are here to deposit something that will outlive you. Living with the end in mind gives you clarity. It gives you focus. It gives you power over distractions. It brings urgency to your actions. It is the secret mindset of all who pass life's test with excellence. One of the greatest tests life will put before you is the test of choosing between purpose and pleasure. Pleasure is seductive. It offers you temporary satisfaction, immediate gratification, and the illusion of happiness. But purpose offers you fulfillment, significance, and eternal reward. The tragedy of life is that many people are failing their test because they are choosing pleasure over purpose. You were not born to simply enjoy life. You were born to deploy something inside you that the world is waiting for. Pleasure will always try to distract you from that deployment. It is a subtle enemy. It doesn't come as a threat. It comes as entertainment. It doesn't appear dangerous. It appears enjoyable. But here's the truth: not everything enjoyable is beneficial. Not everything pleasurable is purposeful. Life's test is whether you can resist temporary gratification to pursue eternal significance. Pleasure is seasonal, it comes and goes, but purpose is generational. Purpose transcends seasons, emotions, and circumstances. Those who live for pleasure live for the moment. They are addicted to what feels good now, even if it robs them of a meaningful future. But those who live for purpose understand that sacrifice is the price of destiny. They know that the rewards of purpose are delayed, but far greater. Every great man or woman who ever left a mark on history made a conscious decision to choose purpose over pleasure. They understood that their time, energy, and focus were too valuable to be wasted on activities that added no value to their assignment. Pleasure has a way of disguising itself as harmless, but it is costly. Every hour spent in mindless indulgence is an hour deducted from your potential impact. Life is a test, and the questions are not always obvious. You won't always be asked, will you fulfill your purpose? Sometimes the question is hidden inside choices like, will you scroll endlessly on entertainment, or will you invest this time in building your vision? The test is subtle. It's not about rejecting all enjoyment. It's about mastering it. You are allowed to rest, you are allowed to enjoy life, but you are not allowed to be controlled by pleasure. Pleasure demands nothing from you, but purpose demands discipline. Purpose demands focus, sacrifice, and perseverance. That is why it is less attractive to the undisciplined. It doesn't give you immediate rewards. It requires you to sow before you reap. But the harvest of purpose is always greater than the temporary thrills of pleasure. The test of pleasure is a battle for your destiny. Every time you prioritize pleasure over purpose, you are making a subconscious decision to delay your own greatness. The enemy of destiny is not failure, it's distraction. And distraction often comes disguised as fun, entertainment, and relaxation. There's nothing wrong with relaxing, but when relaxation becomes your lifestyle, purpose becomes a casualty. Discipline is the bridge between purpose and fulfillment. Without discipline, you will always default to what is easy, not what is essential. Life will always present you with two doors, one marked comfort, and the other marked calling. The door of comfort leads to immediate gratification, but long-term regret. The door of calling leads to immediate sacrifice, but long-term fulfillment. The question is, which door will you choose? The pleasure of today often becomes the regret of tomorrow. The sacrifices of today often become the rewards of tomorrow. Purpose requires you to think beyond the moment. It requires you to ask yourself, how does this decision align with my assignment? Will this choice advance or distract me from my destiny? That level of intentionality is rare, but it is the hallmark of those who pass life's test. Pleasure seeks to keep you busy doing nothing. It fills your schedule with activities that entertain but do not empower. Purpose simplifies your life. It strips away the unnecessary and focuses you on what truly matters. The more you align with purpose, the more intolerant you become of distractions. You begin to understand that every day is a seed, and you refuse to waste seeds on barren soil. One of the biggest misconceptions is that purpose is not enjoyable. That is false. Purpose brings a deeper level of joy, the joy of fulfillment, the joy of significance, the joy of knowing you are making a difference. It's a joy that pleasure cannot imitate. Pleasure satisfies the body, purpose satisfies the soul. There's a difference between happiness and fulfillment. Happiness is often based on circumstances, but fulfillment is anchored in destiny. Many people live for the weekend, but purpose-driven people live for the legacy. They understand that life is not about surviving 5 days to enjoy 2. Every day is an opportunity to build towards something eternal. They don't work for Friday nights, they work for generational impact. The problem is not that pleasure exists. The problem is that many people have made pleasure their master. They have surrendered their focus to entertainment, their discipline to indulgence, and their purpose to distractions. But purpose is jealous. It demands your full attention. It requires you to say no to things that are good so you can say yes to things that are great. When you prioritize purpose, you don't eliminate pleasure, but you subordinate it. You choose when and how to enjoy life, but you never let enjoyment lead you astray. Purpose keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused. It keeps you progressing, even when pleasure tries to lure you into complacency. Purpose is your assignment. Pleasure is a reward, not a pursuit. If you make pleasure the goal, you will always feel empty, because it was never designed to fill the void that only purpose can. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you sacrifice comfort for calling, you are passing one of life's greatest tests. You were not born to chase pleasure. You were born to fulfill purpose. The true measure of success is not how entertained you were, but how much of your assignment you completed. Purpose is not a suggestion, it is a mandate, and those who pass the test of life are those who master the art of prioritizing purpose over pleasure. One of the greatest determinants of whether you will pass life's test is not your talent, not your intelligence, and not even your resources. It is the people you choose to allow into your life. The people you give access to. Your ears, your mind, your energy, and your time will shape the trajectory of your destiny. You must understand that relationships are not neutral. Every relationship is either multiplying your potential or subtracting from it. The people you walk with are either pulling you into purpose or draining you into distraction. There are people who will walk into your life like elevators, lifting you closer to your assignment. But there are also people who come disguised as friends, yet their true function is to drain your focus, dilute your passion, and steal your time. These are what I call time vampires. They don't attack your purpose directly. They slowly drain your energy, conversation by conversation, distraction by distraction. You don't feel it immediately, but over time you notice. Your vision gets blurry, your passion diminishes, your discipline weakens, and your momentum dies. Not because of an external enemy, but because of internal associations that were never supposed to be there. The test of life is whether you have the discernment and courage to guard your circle. You must protect your environment like a gardener protects his soil. Not every seed grows in every soil. Likewise, not every dream survives in every circle. The soil of your life must be cultivated intentionally. You cannot afford to entertain people who are allergic to your purpose. People who don't respect your time are enemies of your destiny. You see, access is a privilege, not a right. Just because someone wants to be around you doesn't mean they deserve to be around you. Your time is too valuable to be spent in conversations that produce nothing, in gatherings that inspire nothing, in relationships that build nothing. You must be ruthless in protecting your focus, because your circle determines your ceiling. Show me your inner circle, and I can predict your future. Many people fail life's test not because they lacked potential, but because they were surrounded by people who suffocated it. Birds of a feather flock together, but eagles don't fly in flocks. Purpose-driven people often have smaller circles, because they understand that intimacy is not for everyone. You cannot build an extraordinary life while maintaining casual relationships with average-minded people. If you want to go higher, you must be willing to separate. Separation is not rejection, it's protection. The people in your inner circle should challenge you, not compete with you. They should sharpen your vision, not blur it. They should celebrate your growth, not resent it. Relationships are supposed to be mutual investments, not one-sided withdrawals. If you are the only one giving, encouraging, uplifting, while the other person is constantly draining, criticizing, or wasting your time, that is not a relationship, it's a liability. Time vampires don't always come as enemies. Sometimes they come as needy companions who attach themselves to your life without contributing to your purpose. One of the hardest tests in life is learning to say no to people who are good, but not good for your assignment. Not everyone who is nice is necessary. You must be able to differentiate between seasonal companions and lifetime destiny partners. Holding on to expired relationships is one of the greatest killers of purpose. When people's season in your life is over, it is not cruelty to let them go, it is wisdom. Guarding your circle requires clarity about your own assignment. When you know where you are going, you will know who cannot go with you. Purpose filters your relationships. You begin to realize that certain conversations are too costly, certain environments are too draining, and certain associations are too dangerous. It is not pride, it is protection. You must understand that your environment influences your energy. You cannot maintain high levels of focus, creativity, and discipline if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, gossip, laziness, and mediocrity. Your circle should reflect your future, not your past. If everyone around you is content with average, you will subconsciously lower your standards to fit in. But if you surround yourself with people who are passionate about growth, who are hungry for impact, who respect purpose, you will be challenged to rise higher. Some people will not understand your need to protect your time. They will accuse you of being distant, of changing, of acting differently. That is because they were comfortable with the version of you that was distracted, available, and unfocused. But passing life's test requires the courage to disappoint people who are not aligned with your assignment. You are not called to please everyone. You are called to fulfill your purpose. The approval of people is temporary. The consequences of wasted time are eternal. Guarding your circle also means investing in the right relationships. Purpose-driven connections are not accidental. They are cultivated intentionally. You must seek out mentors, visionaries, and accountability partners who will not let you settle for less than your potential. Iron sharpens iron. If you are the sharpest person in your circle, you are in the wrong circle. Surround yourself with people who stretch your thinking, who challenge your comfort zones, who provoke you to grow. Your destiny is too precious to be exposed to wrong influences. Every moment you spend with the wrong person is a moment stolen from the right person. Every conversation you have with a time vampire is a conversation you could have had with a destiny helper. The currency of life is time, and your circle is where most of that currency is spent. Passing life's test requires you to be intentional, not emotional, about your relationships. Love everyone, but give access to a few. Be kind to all, but intimate with those who understand your purpose. Your future demands that you guard your circle. Your assignment requires that you protect your time. Not everyone who started with you is qualified to finish with you. And that's okay. Your circle is not just a reflection of who you are. It is a prophecy of who you will become. Guard it with wisdom. Protect it with discipline. And watch your life elevate to realms you never imagined. Discipline is not a word many people like to hear, yet it is the foundation upon which destiny is built. Talent may open doors for you, opportunity may introduce you to platforms, but only discipline will keep you there. Discipline is the master key that unlocks potential and sustains purpose. Without it, dreams remain fantasies, and visions die in the realm of good intentions. Life's test is not merely about how much you want to succeed, but about how much you are willing to govern yourself. You cannot master life if you cannot master yourself. The greatest enemy of destiny is not external opposition, but internal lack of discipline. Until you conquer yourself, you will never conquer anything else. The test of life will not be passed by those who are talented but undisciplined. It will be passed by those who have the courage to say no, to themselves when necessary. You see, discipline is the bridge between purpose and fulfillment. It's the daily act of choosing long-term gain over short-term gratification. Most people fail not because they lack vision, but because they lack the consistency to execute it. Life does not reward good intentions, it rewards disciplined actions. Wishing is not enough, planning is not enough, speaking it into existence is not enough. Without discipline, all your declarations are empty echoes. Discipline is not punishment, it is training. It is the process of aligning your habits with your purpose. It is waking up early to develop yourself when sleep is more tempting. It is saying no to distractions when your emotions crave entertainment. It is choosing focus over feelings. You don't build a purposeful life based on moods, you build it based on principles. Discipline is the principle that ensures you do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Every day, life presents you with choices that test your discipline. Will you commit to your growth, or will you settle for comfort? Will you invest in your destiny, or will you entertain distractions? Discipline is the daily decision to pass these tests, one choice at a time. Small, consistent disciplines compound into extraordinary results. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people is not talent, it's disciplined habits. The challenge is that discipline is often invisible. No one applauds you for waking up early to study. No one cheers you for working in silence, refining your craft, staying away from time, wasting activities. Discipline doesn't get public recognition, but it produces private victories that eventually manifest publicly. The rewards of discipline are delayed, but they are inevitable. Life may not reward you instantly, but it will always reward you eventually. Most people lose focus because they are addicted to immediate results. But purpose is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires endurance, patience, and persistence. Discipline teaches you to value process over instant gratification. It builds in you the character necessary to handle the weight of your assignment. Without discipline, success would crush you because you wouldn't have the strength to carry it. Understand this. Your destiny is too expensive to be purchased with laziness. Every short cut you take is a compromise on your future. Discipline demands that you do it right, even when doing it fast is easier. Life's test is not about how quickly you can achieve success, but how faithfully you can build towards it. The foundation of greatness is consistency. The cement of that foundation is discipline. Discipline also protects you from yourself. Your greatest battles are not against critics, competition, or circumstances. They are against your own impulses. The undisciplined person is a slave to their own desires. They are controlled by their appetites, emotions, and cravings, but the disciplined person has mastered the art of delayed gratification. They understand that momentary sacrifice is the price of lasting significance. When you are disciplined, you don't need external motivation. You become self-propelled, internally driven, purpose-governed. Discipline removes the need for constant inspiration because it transforms actions into automatic habits. You don't negotiate with yourself about whether to work on your goals. You do it because it's who you are. Discipline becomes part of your identity, not just a task on your to-do list. Another test of discipline is the ability to persist in silence. In a world obsessed with visibility, many people lose focus because they seek validation prematurely. But discipline teaches you the power of silent preparation. It's the ability to work in obscurity, to perfect your craft when no one is watching, knowing that excellence will eventually announce you. Destiny requires that you become comfortable with seasons of invisibility where you are developing the capacity to carry your assignment. Discipline also requires that you audit your daily routines. Success is not in the big moments. It's hidden in your daily decisions. What you repeatedly do shapes who you become. If you sow the seeds of discipline in your daily life, you will inevitably harvest a future that reflects your purpose. You must master your mornings, protect your afternoons, and invest your evenings. Time is the currency, and discipline is how you spend it wisely. Discipline will offend your comfort zone. It will challenge your habits, disrupt your routine, and demand more from you than you are used to giving. But it is the price of greatness. No one stumbles into purpose. You grow into it, one disciplined action at a time. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is transformational. Life will not give you what you wish for. It will give you what you work for. The test is whether you will be disciplined enough to persevere when no one is clapping, to stay consistent when results are not immediate, and to keep building when quitting feels easier. Discipline is the quiet force that turns potential into reality. You don't fail in life when you face challenges. You fail when you lack the discipline to push through them. Your dreams will never rise higher than your level of discipline. Destiny is reserved for those who are willing to pay the price of self-mastery. Discipline is not optional, it is mandatory. It is your passport to destiny. Without it, you will remain a tourist in the land of potential, never a resident in the land of fulfillment. Every single day you are alive is not just a date on a calendar. It is a divine seed given to you. A seed is small, but it carries within it the potential of a forest. Likewise, every day may seem ordinary, but it holds within it the power to shape your destiny. Life's greatest test is whether you will recognize that each day is a seed and whether you will sow it intentionally. The difference between those who fulfill their purpose and those who don't is not talent or opportunity. It is their understanding of daily seeds. Successful people don't treat days casually. They see every 24-hour period as a sacred opportunity to deposit something into their future. The future you are dreaming of is not in tomorrow. It is hidden in the decisions you make today. Every act, every conversation, every choice is a seed. You are always planting something, whether you are aware of it or not. Many people fail the test of life because they are waiting for a big moment, to begin living intentionally. They are waiting for a major opportunity, a perfect season, or a life-changing event. But destiny does not arrive in one big leap. It is built through small, daily deposits. The person who learns to maximize their daily seeds will never lack a harvest. The principle of the seed is simple but profound. You reap what you sow. If you sow laziness, you will reap regret. If you sow procrastination, you will harvest frustration. But if you sow discipline, focus, and purposeful action, your future will reflect it. You cannot complain about a future you didn't prepare for. Your life tomorrow is the sum total of the seeds you sowed today. A seed is powerful because it carries the potential of multiplication. One seed can produce a tree, and that tree can produce thousands of fruits, each carrying more seeds. This is how daily habits work. One small act of discipline repeated consistently becomes a lifestyle. One positive decision becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a character trait. Over time, your character shapes your destiny. This is why you cannot afford to waste even a single day. The test of life is whether you will treat each day as a seed or as a distraction. You see, distractions are designed to make you spend your seed on things that have no return. Entertainment, meaningless arguments, time, wasting conversations. They are all ways you can lose a day without planting anything meaningful. Purposeful people are seed, conscious. They are aware that every day must be invested into something bigger than themselves. You don't have control over how many days you are given, but you have full control over how you use the ones you are given. This is why you must live with seed intentionality. Wake up every morning and ask yourself, what seed will I plant today? Will it be a seed of learning, a seed of service, a seed of discipline, a seed of creativity, a seed of relationship building? Your future is waiting for the seeds you plant in the present. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that small actions don't matter. They believe that one day of slacking off won't affect the big picture. But destiny is not built in leaps. It is built in steps. One wasted day is one seedless day, and enough seedless days will produce a barren future. You must learn to value the small beginnings. Greatness is not in the occasional big effort. It is in the daily small actions done with excellence. The test of the seed is patience. Seeds do not produce a harvest overnight. There is a process: sowing, nurturing, waiting, and reaping. Many people give up because they don't see immediate results. But the person who understands the principle of the seed knows that their responsibility is to plant, to water, and to protect the seed. The harvest is guaranteed if the process is honored. You must trust that every positive action, no matter how small, is working beneath the surface to produce a future you cannot yet see. You must also understand that not every seed can grow in every environment. The atmosphere of your life matters. If you plant seeds of growth in toxic environments, surrounded by negativity, laziness, or distraction, they will struggle to grow. This is why guarding your circle, your habits, and your mindset is critical. The soil must match the seed. Create an environment that supports growth. The seasons of life will test your commitment to sowing. There will be seasons when planting feels exciting, but there will also be seasons when it feels mundane. The test is whether you can keep sowing, even when motivation fades. Champions are not those who sow when they feel like it. Champions are those who sow consistently, regardless of emotions. There is no harvest without sowing, and there is no sowing without intentionality. Time is a field, every day is a seed, your actions are the tools. You are either cultivating a future of abundance or creating a desert of regret. Life will not give you what you wish for, it will give you what you plant for. At the end of life, the test will not be about how many seeds you received. It will be about how many seeds you planted. You will not be judged by how much time you were given, but by how you invested it. The cemetery is filled with unplanted seeds, dreams that were never acted upon, ideas that were never pursued, purposes that were never fulfilled. You must refuse to add to that graveyard of wasted potential. Wake up every day with seed consciousness. Live every moment with the awareness that you are sowing into your own future. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the farmer of your destiny. Every choice is a seed, every action is a planting, and every day is an opportunity to build the future you were designed for. Those who pass life's test are those who convert every day into a seed, sown with intention, watered with discipline, and harvested in due season. One of life's most sobering truths is that you are fully accountable for how you live it. No one else will be held responsible for what you fail to do with the gifts, the time, and the opportunities given to you. Life is a personal test. It is not a group project. You may have people who walk with you, advise you, and support you, but at the end of the day, you alone will stand before the results of your life's decisions. Accountability is the final examination of life. It is the day when excuses no longer matter. It is the moment when your explanations, your complaints, and your justifications will all fade, and only your actions will speak. You must understand that the test of life is not about impressing people. It is about fulfilling your personal assignment. People may applaud your busyness. They may validate your distractions, but none of them will stand with you when your life's account is audited. The deception of life is that many people believe they have someone else to blame for their failure. They point fingers at circumstances, at society, at family, even at God. But destiny does not respond to blame, it responds to responsibility. Until you take ownership of your life, you are not ready to pass life's test. Responsibility means you stop outsourcing your progress to others. It means you wake up every day with the awareness that you are accountable for your choices. You see, life doesn't owe you anything. The world is not responsible for your growth, your success, or your fulfillment. You are. As long as you believe that external factors control your destiny, you will live as a victim. But when you accept that you are the steward of your life, you shift from being a victim to becoming a visionary. Accountability gives you power. It removes the excuses and places the pen of your story back in your hands. One of the greatest tests in life is the test of ownership. Will you own your mistakes? Will you own your growth? Will you own your assignment? Many people want the rewards of responsibility without carrying its weight. They desire success but resist accountability. But you cannot have one without the other. Accountability is the price you pay for the life you desire. You must understand that your assignment is unique. No one else can fulfill it for you. That means no one else can be blamed if you fail to fulfill it. You are accountable for discovering your purpose. You are accountable for developing your gifts. You are accountable for managing your time. You are accountable for protecting your focus. You are accountable for building the life you were designed to live. Life's test is personal. That's why comparing yourself to others is one of the most dangerous things you can do. You are not accountable for someone else's race. You are accountable for yours. The moment you measure your progress against another person's timeline, you lose sight of your unique assignment. Accountability forces you to look inward, not outward. It demands self-reflection, self-assessment, and self-correction. Many people avoid accountability because it confronts their comfort. It forces them to face their laziness, their procrastination, their excuses. But accountability is not your enemy, it is your mirror. It shows you where you are falling short so you can rise higher. You cannot grow in what you refuse to confront. Accountability demands honesty. It requires you to admit when you are not maximizing your potential. You must become your own life auditor. You must ask yourself daily, what did I do today to move closer to my assignment? Where did I waste time? How can I improve tomorrow? This is how leaders are built. Greatness is not accidental. It is the result of rigorous self-accountability. You are the CEO of your life. You must manage it with excellence. Accountability also means understanding the consequences of your decisions. Every choice has a result. You are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequences. Many people want freedom without responsibility. They want to live casually, yet expect exceptional outcomes. Life does not operate that way. Your harvest will always reflect your sowing. You cannot sow excuses and expect to reap excellence. One of the highest forms of accountability is the ability to keep promises to yourself. It's easy to make commitments publicly, but can you honor the commitments you make privately? Can you stay disciplined when no one is watching? Can you push yourself when no one is applauding? True accountability is internal. It's not about external supervision, it's about internal standards. People with high internal standards don't need external motivation. They are driven by the weight of their assignment. Accountability also requires that you embrace correction. Life will send you feedback through failures, through mentors, through circumstances. Those who are accountable do not get offended by correction. They are grateful for it. They understand that every correction is a course adjustment that moves them closer to their purpose. Pride rejects correction, but accountability embraces it as a gift. Ultimately, life is a test of stewardship. You are not the owner of your time, your gifts, or your opportunities. You are a steward. And a day will come when you will be asked, what did you do with what was entrusted to you? On that day, titles won't matter, followers won't matter, applause won't matter, only results will matter. Did you fulfill your assignment? Did you maximize your time? Did you deliver the solution you were born to give? You are accountable for every second, every opportunity, every gift you have been given. Life will not adjust to your excuses. The test is personal. Your test, your responsibility. Your test, your accountability. No one else will answer for you. Ladies and gentlemen, life is not a playground, it is an examination room. You are not here to entertain yourself through existence. You are here to fulfill an assignment that was written with your name on it. Every breath you take is part of a countdown, and every second is a question on life's test paper. The tragedy is not that people fail because they are incapable. The tragedy is that they live as if they are not accountable. You were not born to merely exist. You were born to execute purpose. You are not a tourist passing through time. You are an ambassador sent to solve a problem. And when your time on this earth expires, only one thing will matter. Did you pass the test? Not how popular you were, not how entertained you felt, not how many people liked your pictures, but did you complete what you were assigned to deliver? Stop living casually in a life that demands intentionality. Time is your most expensive currency. Waste it and you're bankrupting your future. Life is not a game you can restart. There are no replays, no rewinds, no second drafts. This is your one chance to pass the test. You are not in competition with anyone. Your test is uniquely designed for you. The scoreboard is not measured by applause, but by alignment to your purpose. Refuse to be distracted by the noise. Refuse to be seduced by temporary pleasures. Refuse to waste another minute of your life on things that do not contribute to your assignment. Your life is the answer to a question this generation is asking. But answers are only useful if they are delivered on time. Destiny will not wait for your distractions. The test will not pause for your procrastination. You must rise, focus, and pass this test with excellence. The world is not waiting for another person to play games. The world is waiting for someone to show up with purpose, with passion, with discipline, with clarity. Someone who understands the weight of their assignment and refuses to live beneath it. That someone is you. Live like every day is a test. Show up like eternity is watching. Sow seeds like generations are depending on you. This is not a rehearsal. This is the final performance.